Today we're going to show you how to trap snakes using minnow traps, and the traps we're using are right here. These are called Geese minnow traps, made in the United States. Extremely durable, they work well, and if you're not going after snakes, at least you can catch some minnows. Works out. Now this one's right out of the box. I'm going to show you how to set it up, rig it up, and what I do for it. This one is over 30 years old, and I've been using it almost continuously throughout that time, so not much has changed. Galvanized steel is gone ahead and dulled a little bit, but still an excellent trap. So durability wise, you can't go wrong with them. So go ahead and remove your level. Not going to need that. The traps are very, very simple, and they're nested at this point. I'll show you how to put them together. Foam blocks come out. You want to go ahead and get rid of those. Make sure you don't have anything else on the inside of that trap. Now putting these together, you're going to have a hook and a loop, and they're going to make kind of a hinge that can come apart. So hook both ends just like that. You should also get a clip that's going to positively lock your trap together. Now whether you're using this for minnows or for catching snakes, your install is not done. You're going to want to put a rope on it, especially if you're getting minnows. Depending on your state, you're probably going to have to put a tag on it with whatever information they want. So what I always use is a bit of paracord. About 15 foot is max. I don't want to have too much. Also, you don't want to have too little. But the idea is that not only will you have this attached to your tag, but you'll also be able to pull your trap in, so don't just throw it out there in the water and have to swim out there after it. Same thing for leaving this thing up on land, what we're about to do. Attempting to catch snakes. Snakes are not the only thing that this is going to be attracting. So you don't want a raccoon to come and take your trap away. That would not work very well. So the way I put these on, especially when I'm throwing out in the water, a lot of your knots are going to come loose. I usually just make an overhand on a bite, and then I'm going to put it onto the clip using a lark's head. So push it up through the loop, around, pull it back through, and there are some other knots you could use to make sure they don't slip, but this one works really well for me because I'm able to take it apart, put it back together very easily. So there's one end of it. I'll clip that back on because you want to keep these things together. And on the other end, I'm going to be putting on a self-made tag. And you can buy different tags on the internet. You can make them out of different things. What I've started doing over the years is using pieces of road cone. So those road cones that have been run over a bunch of times, I just cut them out in triangles, punch a hole in them, and what I can do is use black Sharpie, put my name, put my address, put my contact information on here, and I can also see these very well. So the bright orange works, it's durable, it doesn't break down, doesn't rip off. If it can take your vehicle running over at 70 miles an hour, it ought to be able to take a little bit of a creek rise. So again, using the lark's head and an overhand knot. There we go. And that's my entire rig, just like that. Now for this first snake trap, I'm going to be using eggs. And I've got a couple that I've gotten from a local farmer. You want to use eggs that haven't been bought at the supermarket. So these have been cleaned a little bit, but they haven't had any kinds of soaps put on them, no bleaches, any other kind of cleaning products. These still have the essence of farm-raised chickens on them, and that's what you're looking for. You're looking for that smell. Now there's a couple other baits that you could use to attract snakes, but they're also going to attract other things like mice and raccoons and things like that a lot more. Eggs seem to work out the best. Pretty durable. We're going to put them inside of here, and for this first trap we're going to be looking for those extremely terrestrial snakes. So hopefully we might get a gopher snake, maybe a rat snake. We have a couple of the hog noses running around and garter snakes, and they're going to be drawn to that scent. And I'm going to be putting this trap right up under here. Come back and check these guys every 3 or 4 hours. Make sure that they're not in the sun. But let's go ahead and set this one. My second trap right here, and I pulled this out of the creek only a couple hours ago. It's dried off. It was full of crawfish. We're going to be putting that back in the creek, but we're going to be going after water snakes and cottonmouths with that one. And it's a little bit different of a setup, different bait, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. Be a little careful with those eggs. Make sure they don't break. Pretty simple setup. Okay, that's going to go down there. I'm setting this up in an area that I know a lot of reptiles are moving back and forth. You see this rock shelf that I'm sitting on? We're actually in a bit of a gully. And gullies naturally funnel all kinds of animals, creatures, on through, up and down. It's a good travel pathway. So we should, hopefully, in the next 24 hours, hold your tongue right, be able to capture something. So, some days you win, some days you lose. Go ahead and tie this off to this fruit tree. This is a Texas persimmon. Use whatever knot you want, just as long as it doesn't come undone when you don't want it to, and does come undone whenever you need it to. On to the next trap. For our second trap, we're going to go ahead and set up for some aquatic snakes. So we're looking at the cottonmouths and water snakes. Now we come down to the creek. This is a very, very rocky area full of life. There are a lot of snake species that sit here and go around these pools, up and down through the rocks. Even if you don't see them when you're around, when you're not looking, there's a lot more life out here than you might think. So we're going to be setting this down in the water. With this one, I'm actually going to be putting my traditional crawfish bait in it, because the idea is that we're going to attract the actual food that the snake wants to eat. It will be trapped first inside of here, and then later on a snake will come in and want to eat it. So I'm going to use a little bit of dry dog food. A couple handfuls works really well. Should last about 12 hours. Shouldn't take you more than a couple to get the minnows you need to trap the snakes. So form them in just like that. Make sure that your trap is secure. And the way I'm setting this down is that I'm not going to be submerging the trap all the way through. So it's going in the water, but I want to have several inches of the top of the basket still open to the air. And the idea is that most of your snakes are going to hunt near the shallower areas, and they're going to be guided mostly atop the water. And also, once your snake gets inside, he has to be able to breathe. So if you have this trap underwater and the snake does get inside, you're going to have a drowned and dead snake, and we don't want that. So this is the idea, just like that. Both of the entrances are submerged, so we should get some minnows in here, maybe some crawfish, and shortly after that, if they're around, they should be attracted and be able to find their way into these traps. Alright, it's only been a couple hours and we've already caught something. What do you think, Clay? Looks like a rat snake. Little markings. Nope. It's a little hognose. Let's see what we got. Get these out of the garden every once in a while. It looks a little small to be swallowing one of these eggs though, but that's one of the good things about the smell itself, is that they're going for the smell of a bird egg. And out here in the wild, most bird eggs are little birds, so they're pretty manageable, and would have been something that he could have swallowed and gotten something to eat. So let's see if he'll let me do this without biting me. Let's see if I can do this without looking like a fool. Just a little hog nose. Look at that guy. He's adorable. Yeah. So we're gonna let him go on his way. But that was a quick turnaround. It's only been not even 4 hours. So I'm gonna let him go down here. Maybe he'll find something he can actually eat. Let's reset this trap and go check the next one down by the creek. But pretty cool little forest friend. Alright, Caught some minnows, so that's the first part, but no snake yet. We might actually let this thing lay out overnight. One of the great things about these G's traps is that they're built durable enough. I've never had anything chew through them, or even try and chew through them, so as long as you're tied off well. Alright, this is our last check for the evening. We'll go ahead and bring this in tonight. And it doesn't look like we've caught any snakes. There's a little leopard frog in there though. Open this thing up. A little dark for the sunglasses now. Oh, what? We did catch a snake, but that is an unexpected find. That is a garter snake. Never know what you're going to find in these things. See, he was hunting the waters. But there you go, little guy. Silly. And a leopard frog. He's not completely full grown, but he's mature. Check that out. What do you think, pup? Right, so you're going to catch all kinds of creatures in these traps. And like 3 or 4 crawfish. Little guys though. Not that big. Looks pretty cool. Alright, so we're going to dump these out. One of the last things I want to mention before we wrap this up is that if you're going to leave these traps out overnight, you need to make sure if you have them in the water and you're catching things that can't breathe underwater, that you secure this trap in such a way that a raccoon or other creature can't knock it into deeper waters. Because if you put it out, you catch things like that little snake and like that frog, and something pushes it down deep, they're going to drown. So around here I have sandstone. I put a couple sandstone slabs over the top. That keeps things from moving it around. Use what you got, but be very careful whenever you're setting out traps, because this can kill if it does go further in. Otherwise, guys, be very safe trapping. Like and subscribe, and as always, till next time.